All I can say is, wow, I kind of was anticipating this. This is what people told me. For those of you who don't know, I'm from down south, so I really did not know how broad a reach my brother had. And I'm not one for formal speeches. I may be a lawyer, but I always winged it. But I was so appreciative of Jennifer's presentation at the beginning that addressed one of the two things we know about Alan, is a sense of humor. I ran this by one of my nephews. I was going to come up here and start reading from a false grocery list and then discover my mistake. I think most of you know that old joke. And I think all of you would have known why. Because if there are two things that you know about my brother Alan, my big brother Alan, was his sense of humor, which I see was addressed real early in this session. And the other part of him, the family man, the friend, the brother to both my sister Ronnie, who is also God, and myself. And what I want to share with you was growing up with this guy. Born, father was Nathan Werter, doctor in Queens for God knows how many years. Muriel, he got a sense of humor from our father, and I still blame our father for that. But he also got his compassion from our mother. His sense of humor started very young. He was born at a time when apartment buildings in Flushing still had names. And we grew up primarily in the Yorkshire Gardens. He was actually born in I think it was Teddy Roosevelt on Franklin Avenue. But it started early, with my face being pushed in a bowl of bananas and sour cream when my parents weren't looking. He wasn't being mean, he just thought it was funny. It continued on. In grade school, I remember this. I don't think he ever told everybody. I think I mentioned it to Matthew. He got caught in grade school drawing a picture of a teacher on the blackboard. And his punishment was to draw that picture 1,000 times over the weekend. So he drew it 1,001 times, one extra time for extra credit. That's pretty funny. He put it into a book report folder and he titled it and turned it in. It was titled The Ugly American. And it went on. It was all downhill from there. I always called him the good-looking one of the family, the guy with the Michael Douglas hair thing going on. I always had short hair because I was always kind of military. But, he was the good-looking one of the two. His sense of humor went on even into his profession. I mean, everybody knew him as the guy who went to arbitration in a biker jacket and jeans. Who else could get away with that? But also, I remember one time, I finally became a lawyer myself later in life, and I was sitting in his office visiting. And he gets an email. You all know what he did for a living. He was a subrogation attorney. He dealt with a lot of insurance companies. And he gets an email from an insurance company. He reads it to me. This case was settled last month. Where's our money? And he emails that back to him in front of me. He goes, "Blue and our Coke, you'll have to wait till next month." Now, at the time, I was relatively new. I was a prosecutor down in Daytona. We don't talk like that. Maybe South Florida, but not Daytona. But that's growing up with him. Loved baseball. Worked for Harry and Stevens at Shea Stadium. Beer, selling beer. Sneaking me in. Taking me in early on, like I think I was 6 or 7, and we would take the IRT 7 into Manhattan. He was only 11 or 12. We didn't discover later that he wasn't supposed to do that. There were a lot of things we weren't supposed to do that he did. But it was my big brother. He would come to my rescue if a bully was bothering me out there in the neighborhood, whether he won or got beat up himself, but he was always there for me. Ronnie and him would always fight. But those of you who are Facebook buddies and seen the pictures maybe that I've posted or some of the families posted of the three of us together, You know darn well that's not what it was about. You know, you can find a tighter three group of people, you know, between Ronnie, Alan, and myself. The other part of him, which you all know already, and I discovered later on in life that all of you know, is how he felt about his family, how he bent over backwards for you guys, how he wanted the best for you guys. Every decision he made, good, bad, and indifferent, and that's how decisions go. They could be good, bad, or indifferent. The forefront in his mind was his family first. He wanted the best in education, the best in vacations, but he also wanted you to grow up to be the best you can. And that entailed making the right decisions. And the right decisions may not be the decisions you want to make, or may not be in your self-interest, but he just wants you to take your information and make the best decision possible. That's how he felt about you guys. I'm talking about the gang of five here. Nellie, Sadie, Sophie, Dan, Matthew. I'm going to use the term gang of five for short, if you don't mind. And Donna, you know how he felt about you. There was never a wavering point, and everything he did was for you and the girls and the guys. But he was also there for me later in life as well. As I'm sure he was, I'm sure you will have plenty of stories how he came through for some of you out there, I'm sure. I was surprised because growing up we were not that overly involved in the synagogue or temple. But I was always surprised how involved with this church that I was in. And it promoted me to research down in Florida about joining a Unitarian church because, as the saying goes these days, I'm more spiritual than religious. But this is a heck of a church. I wish I lived up here just to be a member here. But getting back, as I stray off track, which I do because of a little ADD, but things I experienced over the past months when going to visit him at the rehab center. Sure, he would smile at me when I come in and we would talk and text and have fun together to a limited amount. But the expression on his face was unmatched whenever you guys came in or Donna came in. That's when he really lit up the room, is when you all came into the room. And Donna, I am so glad you were there. I have a cold. It's only half true. How about track? As far as my gang of five, the best way that you can honor Alan is what I talked about before, but to remember your gentility, your class, noblesse oblige. And that doesn't mean what kind of car you drive, what kind of clothing you're wearing, or anything like that. It's how you treat the people around you. Okay? That's what he will want from you. The best compliment Alan and Donna can get is if you're on the street, let's say in Huntington, where everybody knows Alan and Donna, and they meet you for the first time, and they say, after meeting you, they turn to someone and ask who you were. And they go, oh, that's one of Alan's kids. And the person goes, oh, now I understand. That's how you pay him honor. I was told to keep this relatively short. I'm going to tell Matthew to better pitch a tent tonight because I'm going to be here for a while. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The last thing I talk about is something I want to talk to Alan about. We talked a little bit about it, on our last visit. Well, maybe prior to that, is something that I learned. I'm not here, first of all, to say goodbye to Alan. I refuse to say that. When I last saw him, I said that to him too. I will not say goodbye to him. something I learned a long time ago and just really firmly developed over the past few years. It was back in '75. I was in the Air Force and I had to go pick up a Catholic priest at the airport, chaplain, and bring him back to the base. It was that night, and we were driving back, and he said, "Is there anything that bothers you, son?" I turned to him and went, Jewish. I said, "Sorry, chaplain, but I'm Jewish." He says, "I don't care, that doesn't matter." And I told him that, quite honestly, I was never afraid of the process of dying. I was always afraid of what is thereafter. And that's what really bothered me. And he reminded me of my physics course in high school, like I remembered any of my physics course in high school. Is energy either created or destroyed? And I went, and he said, "No." I said, "Oh, I knew that." It is not. And how do we operate? Our memories, our heart, our souls, our friends are all part of that energy, that electrical, unexplainable operation of our body that makes us who we are. That never goes away. I went on to read in recent years. I, for some reason, got reinterested in theoretical physics, and this is a really strange existence. And you know what I see? I see Alan standing next to Ronnie, and if any of you, I know some of you know Ronnie. Ronnie was a very dignified, proper person. She had a sense of humor, but she was a class act. But I see him standing next to Ronnie, maybe watching us right now, thinking of that next joke, what he can get to us to mess us over. And then I see that expression on Ronnie's face that I've seen so many times, that wince of pain in the oncoming humor. I will not say goodbye to Alan. I did not say goodbye to Ronnie. I know it takes a certain leap of faith, but with all that's out there these days, is it really that big of a leap? And